Hey guys, I'm doing this stretch right here. I'm Sebastian. This is a quad stretch that a lot of you have already done, and some of you might experience upper glute pain with a quad stretch. I know it's not super common, but it does happen. That's why we're making this obscure video on YouTube. But the area I'm talking about is it's hand on hip, thumb falls right into the area where you feel like you want to grind the living daylights out of it. That's the spot I'm talking about. You might have other stuff associated with into here, some in the back too, but primarily the apex is right into there. And we have met people who have pain in that area, the upper glute, while doing something like a simple quad stretch. And so we're going to do a slight variation on the quad stretch today to make it so you can still stretch your quad without really having this negative repercussion. By the way, I should probably note that maybe one of the easiest things to do is if it hurts, don't do it, and substitute it with something else which is similar but different, like a different type of quad stretch. You might realize that one feels even better. But just for the sake of showing you things that can be modified, we're going to continue down this route here. Okay. So the first thing you should do is obviously check to see how things feel. We call this an audit process. And so you're checking, we try something, you check again. You're like, hey, that's like a little bit better. And so that's kind of insight into maybe some things that could work, because this is what we call intervention. Intervention is doing something which can have benefit but doesn't always. Think of it like contact lenses. Sometimes they work, and sometimes you're like, I need a whole new prescription. This is bad, right? And so what you can find is sometimes there's an immediate benefit when you do a simple thing like the intervention, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to teach you hand tension. We're going to do it with a chair, because on a wall it might take a little bit different suggestion. But we're going to take your open hand here, and I want you to try to force the pegs of the chair through the earth. Okay? I'm not talking about grabbing them. I'm talking about physically pushing them down. You can do this by a car door as well, where you put your hands through the window and you try to rip the car door off its seals, okay? Or off its hinges. You can see I'm pushing so hard that I'm actually physically shaking right now, all right? You'll notice your belly's working, your arms are working, your lats are working, right? And so that's the tension that I'm talking about, trying to shove the chair through the earth. Now, when we're going through this same stretch, you're going to find the position and try to shove the chair through the earth again. You might notice one of two things. All of a sudden your symptoms dissipate, your upper glute pain dissipates, either on this leg or the other one, or you find out that all of a sudden your mobility gets better, which is crazy to some people, because so you got a lot of times people do the stretch because they're like, oh, I just can't get there. It feels like my quad is always tight. And as soon as they push the pegs through the earth, all of a sudden they can get their heel to their butt, which is crazy. But it happens sometimes. So if this worked for you, just know that there's more to it than a simple stretch. There's other things that you should be building upon, such as tension, intra-abdominal pressure possibly, and working on other things like the glutes and the core too. As you can see though, exercises can work, but it's how you do them. It's hard to get this point across sometimes, and I really try to make sure that everybody doesn't glaze over this part, is that the exercises that you're doing can be useful independently, but sometimes it comes down to how it's taught, how you're doing it. The exercises are not magic, it's how you do them. And when you do them really well and you pick the right ones, all of a sudden stuff gets better. Sometimes, a lot of the times. And it's mainly in an aspect where people are not super acute and they're not super chronic with their problem. It's the middle, we call it subacute, and it's more of a mechanical reason. There's actually a mechanical reason for their problem. The other ones are a little bit different side stories, which I won't get into, but anyways, if this was helpful, reach out to us. We are the locally world famous chiropractors in Orange County, California. We can help you virtually or in person. As you can see, we've had people ask before, they're like, how can a chiropractor help with glute pain? Well, we can suggest some exercise tension to use. Like, we don't have to adjust everybody. It's not the thing that you necessarily go into for all the time. But we actually we thrive on showing people exercise interventions for things like this that you can do at home. And so we love to do it. As you can see, there's fun ways to do it, and we believe people will only do their rehabilitation if they feel like it's fun. So let's make it fun. So reach out to us. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have lots more videos just like this. They're all free on YouTube, and they're organized into playlists, which is really cool. We'll see you guys next time.